Hey everybody, and welcome back to the monumental episode 2. We actually made it through our introduction group together here and still talking to each other.
I think it's actually episode 1.
Episode 1.
I liked your idea of episode 0.
Episode 0 was our introductions, introducing to all of us and our...
We appreciate everybody that listened, the 8 of you. It was fantastic. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate that. I don't know if anybody actually got through the whole 26-minute episode, but we talked for 14 hours to get that 26 minutes. So.
Yeah, it only felt like 14 hours.
Kayla got 32 seconds of airtime.
That's all I wanted.
All right, so here we are going to start doing we're 2 weeks later. And still speaking to each other, all having a good time, I hope. What's been going on with you guys the last 2 weeks?
You need to fix your microphone because every time you turn your head to look at me, you can't hear it.
Oh, sorry.
So
yeah, you might have to move your chair a little bit.
No, it's this thing here.
Oh, it's like my penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
things I didn't want to hear.
Right,
but
things I don't want to hear, Alex, for 200.
All right, so next week you're all going to come into the editing room and learn how much this causes problems for me.
Me and Kayla are the talent. We've said this 100 times.
I am the talent now.
We have said this 100 times, Jim. Even before we got going, the contracts we signed. You know?
Who do you think makes you sound so good?
Oh, it's really good. Well, that doesn't
No, I actually mute half of your shit during the editing, and then someone makes me feel guilty, and I put you back in.
I am definitely the loudest of the
All right, what do you got? You got anything the last 2 weeks? Anything, Kayla? 8-Man Jam, how was that?
It was good.
Yeah, promote 8-Man Jam. That was awesome.
It was interesting.
Okay.
Tell us about 8-Man Jam.
Gee, don't just be so elaborate.
I don't know. I don't know if people want to listen about 8-Man Jam.
We want to
Ultimately, 8-Man Jam is a concert that Camel Country will put on once a year at Talking Stick Resort. And you can only win tickets to it. And I was invited to do social media stuff for the event.
We need an applause thing.
I think we have one.
When we expand into more stuff, we should have an applause button.
So yeah, it ultimately was, we went there a little bit early and we watched the artists do like interviews and stuff like that. And then...
Is it a band? Or
it was 8 different country artists.
Oh, wow. All together on stage just playing?
So it was like they did 4 and then they did an intermission and then they did 4 after. So each person...
Each individual. Did they all get together at the end and do a big 8-Man Jam? Okay.
No.
Wow.
That kind of would have been cool,
That would
but
have been awesome, man. That's great.
I feel like that would have been just like too much. I'm old now, so it took a long...
Oh, my God.
By 9:30, I was like, all right, wrap it up.
This is what's going on with youth of today. She's 28. Dear God, somebody shoot me now.
If people wanted to see pictures or excerpts from that concert, should they look anywhere specific?
Since they are so hell-bent on me...
www.porno.com.
Whoa. No, thanks.
No. Now, see, this is probably why she doesn't want to talk about it.
No. If y'all want to see it, it's on my Instagram. It's CTAZ Adventures. I created it for Country Thunder because that's all I do is live, breathe, eat, and sleep Country Thunder.
We can attest to that. She does a great job with Country Thunder.
So that's CTAZ Country
She is
Thunder.
actually going to be one of these days probably a high upwards.
They will name it Kayla's Country Thunder.
Kayla's
One day.
Kayla Thunder.
I just want a golf cart. That's all I want at this point.
I'd actually go then just to ride on it.
Yeah, that's just what I want.
I would go if you get that. I'll go.
And you'd be like,
look at that weirdo.
no, I don't know him. Keep going.
If you get that, I will go because then I can just.
No, it's my golf cart.
Oh yeah, but take your dad.
You're not going to take your dad into
No.
That's just horrible.
No, I wouldn't take you either.
That's awful. Oh my God, that's awful.
Mark, what about you? What's coming
My
up?
wife drugged me to a Prince tribute band show.
Your wife drugged you.
She drugged me, but no, she dragged me to the Prince tribute band at Chandler Center for the Arts, and I was shocked. It was sold out.
Really?
This Prince tribute
I'm
band.
surprised there's a lot more Prince
Sold
fans
out?
than you'd
No,
think.
I love Prince. I do, but this was a Prince tribute. It's not like... It's like the karaoke dude down in the road. That's what I was like. Okay, so she doesn't tell me where we're going, and we get there, and I see these people going Prince. I'm like, what the? Are you taking me to see a fucking Prince tribute? She goes, I am, and
She didn't even tell you?
The first one, he was kind of the first. So, have you ever heard of an intermission either during a concert?
Yeah,
so,
she just had one.
Yeah,
They played
the
4 minutes.
8-Man Jam had one.
They're switching. These guys just go, we're basically going to sit down for 15 minutes. And
They needed to take a breath.
That's crazy. I'm like, okay, this is...
So was the lead singer all dressed up like Prince?
Yeah, I mean, he did.
Okay, so I gotta ask: was it Prince and Revolution Prince? Was it Raspberry Beret Prince? Or
I was really surprised that everybody, his background and everything else, were established musicians. I mean, they had been in band. One was in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it was amazing. So they did have really talented musicians, which I thought was great. But I mean, it was cool. I mean, they played old school. Delirious is one of my favorite. Delirious.
Well, that's the thing. I like Prince right up until after Purple Rain, and then that whole Raspberry Beret thing was when my downturn, and then after that,
Purple Rain was one of the greatest songs ever written.
Yeah, well, the movie was okay too for what it was.
Heard Purple Rain?
I probably have, but I could not tell
God.
you. The lyrics.
1999 Little
At
Red
the
Corvette.
No.
The guitar solo at the end makes you cry.
Isn't it like
so
20
good.
minutes long?
It's the real one is, but they condense most of it down to like 7.
See, I can't handle that.
No, you will.
No.
You think you can't.
I'm pretty sure
The
I have,
song
but I
itself-
didn't.
Do you like Prince at all?
No.
Okay, well
See,
then
the song itself is really only like 3.5 minutes.
Glee
and then you
never
have
did it, so-
Then you have...
Glee-
Oh, they will. They probably don't have the rights. That's probably
Glee never
why,
did
but-
Prince.
But anyways, that's what I did.
They didn't. I didn't do anything. I worked. I finally got to go work in the title office. Had a good time. Loved the people there.
Nice.
That's all I did.
Do you want to plug them?
Not yet.
No, don't think I'm allowed to.
So we're slowly creating our show content, guys. So tonight we're actually going to talk about the 80s and our glorious times growing up. I also want to introduce, quit rolling your eyes over there. We are introducing our Wheel O Topics. So whenever we get stuck, Jim, just give a nice little spin so people can hear our Wheel of Topics.
All right, well,
you
we
gotta
need some
spin.
WD-40.
Yeah, there we see. So
there
we
we
have
go.
filled our Wheel of Topics with 12 different topics. So when we get bored or we have guests on, we're going to have them spin the Wheel of Topic, and that's what we're going to do. After that topic goes away, we throw it out and we fill it in with a new topic. We have decided, well, we're trying to here, that we are doing 4 big topics, just like sports, bullshit like that.
He can't even read what it is.
4 medium road topics that, are a little more in depth. And then 4 just off the wall, whatever, fun topics that we kind of do that you got to talk about. But every time we talk about a topic, we're erasing it and putting a new topic on there to talk about.
This is the cutest little wheel, too.
It is.
I'm glad I didn't have to make
I'll be
it.
the first to admit I wanted to just use one off the phone, but I am very excited here about our Wheel O topics.
So eventually, when we get people on here and we
Turn up his mic.
because we're not just going to talk about when somebody's on here, guys. Yes, we want to talk about what you do, and I don't care, you're a spiritual healer, fluffer, freaking gun shop, whatever the hell you are. I don't care what you are, but we are going to make you talk about different stuff outside the box, and we're going to make you. That's because that's really what we are. We want your perspective as a different perspective on things. Am I correct? Help me with this, guys. So,
Well,
I still want to talk to a hooker.
no, that shouldn't be arguing. Let me look at my phone. Hold on.
that was everyone's favorite
Hey,
line from the intro. I want to talk to
Hey,
her.
Stephanie, what are you doing next Tuesday? How much? Just to come on?
Stephanie.
Hey, she wants $7.50 for the hour, guys.
I want diamond.
Elegance.
Candy.
Cinnamon. Spring. They always name themselves after, seasons. I'm winter. I'm spring. I'm summer.
Those spices.
I know.
Cinnamon and nutmeg. And
Sage.
You never hear smelly or dopey. That's what I'd like to do.
Grumpy.
I'd like to. And next on stage, we got Grumpy. Come on up, Grumpy.
Next on
Fuck you,
stage.
DJ guy. All right. Grumpy's on stage for a double shot, guys. Let's go.
Next on stage, paprika.
Oregano. Come on up. Oh, the next girl's all spicy. It's Italian seasoning. Come on. Here, next up on the stage. That's going to be fun. But anyways, that's what we're going to do when we have our guests. We're going to use the Wheel of Topics. We also want you to come in and give something for our Table of Fun. I just created that now. So our Table of Fun. So I started it tonight with the Wheel of Topic. Kayla will be in 2 weeks have to contribute to the Table of Fun.
I brought the table.
No, that doesn't.
The table is the table of
Did bring
fun.
the table.
That.
And I bring
Are we
my-
going to take a vote on that? And I even
my
want the
present.
mom vote. Wait, let's take a vote on that. Does she contribute? Does that count as a contribution? The table.
Leave her out of this.
Does that count? We'll take a 3. Am I? You're going to go with your dog. Do I lose you, or are you going to go with
Well,
me?
because the one person ends up loading this most of the time wants to carry as less as possible. So kind of agree with Kayla. The table's good enough.
That sucks.
Who could compete with the Wheel of
Well,
Topics?
that's what I'm saying. Next
know.
week, Jim, you have to bring something now. Since Kayla's already done, we're going to be back. I'm the second one, apparently. You know, I tried to bring the puppy into it, but nobody would let me do it.
I bring my sparkling personality, happy attitude.
Yeah. It's debatable, but okay.
I am shitting
That's a little bit of a
sprinkles.
stretch,
I'm
but
shitting Skittles as we sit.
So, anyways, it's your turn next week. You need to bring something to the table of fun.
Okay, something for the table.
It's not going to be boring. We're not just going to sit here and look at this every week. I want it to be fun. We have to have a fun atmosphere. When people come over, we have to let them see it. And they have to contribute. If we're letting them on, they have to bring something to the table of fun. Tubs. And buy some tubs for our props.
Then we'll leave right here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely we'll leave right here. But we're going to have props.
Well, at some point you will drive.
When we actually have like a studio that we can go into and we could just leave it all there.
What's wrong with Studio T?
I don't know what that is.
Tarbori, right here.
Mark's
Studio
house.
Tarbori. It's comfortable. It's comfortable. We have fun.
All right.
All right. So,
Mark, I got a question.
Okay.
Okay, I want your expertise on
Masturbation?
no. The toddler has kicked and screamed and held his breath to a $250 million contract.
Oh, my God. You're talking about Kyler Murray. You're talking sports?
I am talking about the toddler. I'm a little annoyed at this. I do not think he's worth $250 million. The $160 million guaranteed? Okay. But $250 million, $250 million for a guy who looked like he walked out of a tree baking cookies and said, I'm going to play football.
Dude, that's going to be pennies for what the next NFL rights is and what's going on with what Amazon's paying them. I mean, they just released today that Green Bay got a $377 million check from the NFL. So it's not, you can't look at it that way. You have to look at sports and you have to go, oh, fuck. I wish I can fucking do this. It's fucking great. We're not getting paid for this. I've got to.
Kyler Murray as a player, is he worth $250 million?
He's a top 10 quarterback, and that's what you pay now.
Yeah.
So I saw something that said that they like make him do homework now.
I like that.
They made him sit down for 4 hours every day now to watch the film of games.
I like that.
Instead of watching TV or
I'm glad we're touching it because this is now the millennial and younger generation. This is Generation Y. Is that what it's called now? Is it what
Z?
There's Z.
Yeah.
And and again, we touched a little bit about this last week. It's our fault. We did this. We raised our kids and everybody out there listening to this, you're guilty too. We did not want our kids to grow up the same way that we did, not as tough and have to dig it out and freaking do. We wanted to make it easier, and we have made it easier.
What does that have to do with football?
It does a lot because freaking now you've got this kid who's 24, grown up doing everything. Everybody coddled to him. Everything did all the way up through college and school. And he's. I love the kid, but you could tell when me and my buddy, we go to the games I've been going since 1994 football games.
That's insane.
And this guy walks off the field with his head down, with his body language, and me and PJ, which you guys will eventually meet, look at them and go, look at him. Fucking look at him. He's fucking, So, but the problem is that...
Look at him what, though? What? I
you're
think
like,
he's
that's
ass.
not a leader.
It's not a leader at all.
But you can't... I'm not going to judge paying somebody on if you can lead. I'm doing it if you can play, and the kid can play.
He's a quarterback. He should be a leader. I'm sorry.
I'm not sold on that.
Yeah.
And again, if it's not in your mentality, you can't do it.
Now, my uneducated opinion, I'm not near as knowledgeable on sports as Mark is, but this guy is... I'm sorry. When he screws up a play, he runs to the medical tent. Maybe they'll think I'm hurt. That's why I screwed up.
He does have very bad body language, and that is what I'm. It's very bad body language. We see it, but the kid can flat out play. And I'm sorry, you're not. So when you're at a game, you see it differently. You don't see what's on TV, and you see this kid get out of situations that you're like,
oh no, he's done some good. I've seen some good things.
And that's the
he
going
doesn't
rate.
suck, but I don't think he's Tom Brady or
it's okay. Is this because you don't like him, or is it because you don't think he can play?
Okay, everyone's going to fight me on this one. I really think he's the reason Larry Fitzgerald left.
Oh, I'll agree with that.
Oh, really?
100%.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not going to lie about that at all.
Because he didn't want Larry Fitzgerald to get any of the credit. He wanted all the credit.
No, I don't think it's that. I think Kyler wasn't throwing to him.
Right, because he didn't want Larry to get the credit for the great catch. He wanted the great throw, so he wasn't throwing to Larry.
You
so
might
Larry
be
just
right
said,
on
fuck
that.
you.
But I don't know. But that's what we pretty much.
Okay, well, I thought
think
I'd get...
all of Arizona, who's Cardinal fans, kind of know. Yeah, Murray and him didn't get along, so he's like, you know what, I'm done. I don't need to put up with this.
Yeah, I don't need to put up with this little
And I
shit.
respect Larry Fitzgerald even more because he didn't go anywhere anywhere else to go try to win a ring and play with anybody else. He just said, I'm going to Rwanda to
I just don't see him on
walk
the list
the trails of the Tibet syndrome thing. That's what basically Larry Fitzgerald is doing.
I just don't see him on the list with, Tom Brady, the Mannings.
You can't. Nobody's that. That's why you can only name 2 of them. I mean,
No, Terry Bradshaw, I didn't want to go that far back. Joe Montana, I didn't want to go that far back, but I'm saying I don't ever see him on that list. I mean, I'd rather pay Bill Murray $250,000. At least he can act like a good quarterback.
Guys, do you realize he's been to 2 Pro Bowls? He has gotten us from 5 wins to 11 wins. And what else are you asking this kid to do? And what else you now? So if he eventually wins the Super Bowl, everything's all good. Oh, way to go! He's worth it. Good job.
I'm asking him to not choke during the Super Bowl. I'm asking him to take responsibility for.
They lost a game. I was at that game. They lost that game. But seriously, guys, listen.
No, hey, if he takes us to the Super Bowl, especially this year, being
you're okay then. Everything's fine.
I
Good
will
job.
write him an apology.
Yeah, I don't buy that crap.
If he doesn't get us to the Super Bowl, he needs to go back to the stream because
he's
with the other
sports talk
else.
for today? Because you're pissing me off.
All right, that's something I wanted to touch on all week.
That was one conversation you guys had where you didn't fight with each other, so I'm happy.
Well, a little bit. We were starting to. That's why I'm like, next subject.
All right, well, we're going to take a little break here. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Hey, and welcome back from the break. We are discussing the 80s.
Yeah, the greatest era. Well, I don't know about the greatest era, but it was an era.
It was the greatest time. You ask anyone over the age of 40.
For drugs, it was the best era. I'm going to say that.
The music,
and I
the
just
movies.
only know that because of my brothers and stuff. Not my brother, stepbrothers. Let me make that perfectly clear. Stepbrothers. Let me make that perfectly clear.
But my brothers and sisters, on the other hand.
Well, your brother was a hippie.
Yeah, Chip.
He loved the 80s.
Chip was some 60s, 70s hippie.
Dude, I loved hanging out with Chip in the freaking, when I was 11, 12, 13. He'd walk in, he'd have that long-ass hair, and he'd be like, hey, yo, what's up, bro? This is how you doing, Because he lived on and off of that house all the time. I mean, he'd be there for a month, and then he'd leave and come back,
Kayla, as a child, saw a picture of Jesus and thought it was Uncle Chip. So if you're wondering what my brother looks like.
So Jim's family understands the 80s pretty well on that side. I'm not saying they were druggies or nothing, but they experimented more,
Sure, if you want to call it experiment. I mean, seriously, all my sister, my oldest sister, who's no longer with us, probably did it back in the 70s, but then stopped when she had kids.
And we're talking about cocaine.
No. To my knowledge, it was only
acid.
pot.
No acid?
No, to my knowledge, it was only pot.
No way Chip wasn't dropping acid.
Maybe. I don't know. In the 70s, who knows what they were doing? My brother Dave was
Dave is
bigger nerd than me.
Yeah,
so.
Dave and Steve they're in their own.
Right.
Great brothers. I love you, Steve. And don't sue me.
And out of the 6 kids, Dave was the most successful, by the way.
What about us? Gosh darn it. So we don't have a nice house and bad clothes and nothing's paid off and you're retired at 55. Don't judge me. I'm doing my best.
I myself, if you haven't been told or didn't listen, I've tried pot once and it sobered me up and pissed me off. So I never tried it again.
They're no fun. Anyways, we're going to the 80s.
I was going to say, I thought we were talking about the 80s.
Yes, we could go talk about drugs all day long. It's one of my favorite subjects. It's great to talk about. But let's go to So we want to talk about what we think is if I had to rank the decades that I've been alive. I've been alive 5 decades. And if I had to rank them, I would probably rank it just right above the 70s because I don't remember anything because I was only 8 when the 80s started. Then I would put the 80s in. Although, wait. I'm going to rank it over the 2000s. It would be the 2000 to 2010 was
crap.
Yeah, there wasn't really much. To me going on. So I'm going to rank it 3rd.
We are old and you're going to rank the 80s as 3rd?
Middle. It's just middle on the road. So the best right now is I think it's now. I'm enjoying my life now. I think to me it's pretty great. So that's this decade. And then I would have to say the 10s. And then it would be the 80s, and then it'd be the 2000s, and it'd be the 70s. And I'm only saying the 70s because if you were older in the 70s, I get it, but I was only 0 to 8.
Right.
So I don't know anything about it, and I can't really rank that. So that's why it's got to be down below. So.
Well, you're 0 to 10 because you turned 10 in 1980.
No, I'm going. Oh, decade. Oh, whatever. 50. I'm going in 10-year increments is what I'm doing.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm going to take the 80s as number one. The later half of the 80s, the early part of the 80s wasn't as fun, but the later half of the 80s was.
You're going number one. Your best decade.
My best decade. Love the 80s. Love the 80s. Love the music. Love the
Can
movies.
you even? But you were 10 to 20. You didn't even get to experience. Bars and I mean because our drinking age was 21, it wasn't 18 like my brothers and 19 or whatever, like so they raised it with us. So how I don't know if I can rank these because you're missing out on a ton of experiences, and then it's I don't know.
Wait, let me go on with mine because first of all, I have not been carded since I was 17. So the later half of the 80s, I've been to the bars. I used to go shoot pool. We used to go hustle pool. Actually, me and my other friend Mark.
Okay. I'm calling you out here because you're saying your best adult years were 17, 18, 19, and 20.
How about this? I'm going to go 85 to 95. So
15 to 25?
80s, 90s.
Okay, I'll give that.
Okay. It's just the nerd I was in school. In grade school, you were there.
Well, so was I. Who was I?
Yeah,
I mean,
but you instigated the nerd thing. But anyway, somewhere around 1988, 87, 88, no, 86 when I started drinking. So around 86 was when the Jimbo persona came out, and that's when my life changed. And that's kind of when, you moved out of your house at, 16?
Jimbo was a transvestite, though. So
everything changed. You weren't supposed to tell everyone. No.
He was just experimenting. Don't judge him.
No, that's just when my life started changing when the Jimbo persona came out. But then, I met my wife in 1990 and, I had those years were great too. Then I went to work in the pizza industry and things started going downhill. I started losing my mind. But so I'm going to go 80s, then 90s. And then, I'm going to give the 70s credit just because I didn't have to do anything. I was a little kid. I was a baby of the family. I got taken care of. 70s are great.
All right. Okay. Well, the 80s had a lot to do.
What did you like about the 80s? Was it
what did I do like about the 80s? Okay. I did a lot. I moved out at 16 in 86 or whatever, and so I was basically on my own so that was exciting times. I mean, you grow up fast, but it was great during those times. So the late 80s were totally cool. I remember that. But anything about music, I guess I will go. I actually did like the alternative, like the psychedelic Furs and freaking who else for some of the Modern English, and those are bands that I kind of liked. Call it foo-foo music or whatever the hell, but it was the start of alternative British movement that I thought was great.
The Second Invasion, okay.
Yeah, so I liked that. Movies, there were some cool movies. I mean, there's a lot of fun.
The 80s. Biggest movies ever came out in the 80s.
I mean, that's what I got. I guess I will say, out of the 80s, that is my favorite thing that probably came out of it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink. I mean, all this stuff. It was all coming of age. Like what I'm going to have you talk now, Kayla. So you got to contribute. It was kind of like not Glee, but it was kind of like you know what I'm trying to get at here? What are the kids watching now that are kind of, they're grown up. Superbad was a coming to age movie about high schools. You ever see Superbad?
No. Didn't that come out in the 2000s?
I know, but it was a coming of age movie. So what's it like just a new movie that you guys are seeing that's like a coming of age high school coming to age?
Kayla's last thing either was Glee or High School Musical. High School Musical came out in 2006?
2006.
You were 10, right?
I don't know.
13.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's coming of age movie. And what the 80s did very well with Pretty in Pink and St. Elmo's Fire, they touched everything.
What was that guy's name?
John Hughes.
John Hughes.
He touched everything. So not only did you have the high school movies that were Pretty in Pink and all those, but then he moved on to St. Elmo's Fire and touched with the college and the younger adults.
Revenge of the Nerds.
You're right. I mean, so he touched everything and he made you fall in love with all these characters that I don't think they really make those movies anymore. You don't really see big ensemble movies anymore with no name. Well, I guess you do, but I mean,
I'll give you that. They're so rare though, and they're just not as good. I mean, you got to remember back then, all these guys weren't big names. Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez. True. They weren't big names. They became big
when
names
did Young
because
Guns
of those
come
movies.
out? Was that 80s?
Yeah,
because Young Guns was a kick-ass movie. That was a great movie.
I like Young Guns 2 better.
Did you ever sit and make her Airplane? And what
that was
the
1980.
Naked Gun. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the Naked Gun movies.
Did you ever sit down? You should sit down one day. Oh, and watch 80s movies. But it's the greatest movie that I love, Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. I based my whole Christmas house on the whole freaking movie.
True.
See, I have no stake in this, whatever, because
You have never just sat down and watched
I
an
don't
80s
like
movie.
the 80s. That is the one decade I ask everyone, do you have a favorite decade that either you lived in, that you love the style, music, hair, whatever? 80s is not my shit.
And but turn the mic off for God's sakes. We're done. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hey, all right, we appreciate you coming out.
That's
tonight.
why I'm staying quiet, because I'm not going to rain on your guys' parade.
Oh, it's not a rank because I am still ranking. The question was, I'm still ranking the 80s as a mid thing. I wasn't not the greatest, but the question was, what's your favorite thing about the 80s? Well, I think it was the movies. I really do.
I think mine would be music. 'Cause that's really when I started getting into music.
Okay. Now you will know this. Now you know 80s bands. You do know a few.
Only
the
because
Glee
of
version.
Glee.
But I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay
No,
with that.
because with the exception of one Van Halen song, Glee did a lot to bring the 80s music back and recognize the
Jump
80s.
was perfectly fine.
It was not perfectly
It
fine.
was fine.
No. Ba, 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 da, ba. No, it sucked. You
It
do
was
not
an
replace.
acapella cover of Jump, and it was perfect.
No, for me, it was music.
It's a really good weed.
Because that's when I really started listening to music, and it was
Squirrel.
yeah, as usual. I for the life of me can't think of any top 40 band. Oh, but top 40 himself, Casey Kasem's American Top 40 every Saturday.
What was his catchphrase?
Keep
your hands on the feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. That's and everybody that's listening, Mom, Dad, you remember Casey Kasem? You do.
Everyone remember Casey Kasem because he did the voice of Shaggy in Scooby Doo's in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, I thought it was Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year. It wasn't Casey Kasem's Rockin' New Year.
Well, no, Dick Clark did Rockin' New Year.
I know.
Well, Dick Clark's from the 60s, and he just
It's still Carson.
No, it's Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest presents Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' New Year.
Ryan Seacrest has 90 jobs.
Yes, and he's richer than we'll ever even dream of being.
Do you think Ryan Seacrest is just still one person, or he has like
I think he's
four?
been cloned. I think
There's
we're
like
going
four
to
of
find
them.
out that he's cloned. I think so. It'd be something.
Well, okay, guilty pleasure here. Marshall gave me shit for this. I actually watch Ryan and Kelly in the morning.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so but he tells
All
him-
you people, religious people out there. Christ, I said Christ. Okay, I did. Anyways, okay.
No, but he'll talk about how he'll go to LA, do American Idol, and it's in season. Then he's got to fly back that night and be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to do the Live with the Kelly and Ryan show. Then he flies back to LA, and this guy spends half his life on a plane.
Have you seen his fucking bank account? I mean, are you really kidding? This is what you're saying? A rough
No, I'm
life
just saying.
is?
No, I'm not saying.
I
rough
had to
life.
take a plane from here to Tucson to make $1 million this morning.
I'm not
Then I
saying
went
rough
from
life at
Tucson to
all.
Flagstaff.
I'm not saying rough life at all. I'm just saying to give the guy's got to have credit for all the shit that he does to keep all these balls in the air and be as successful as he is.
You know what I have credit for? The working guy that's working 2 jobs to pay his goddamn bills. I'm not too. I'm entertained by
Yeah,
Ryan
but then
Seacrest.
again, Ryan Seacrest is working 5 jobs.
Yeah, we're talking about
He's
that
working
industry.
$1 billion.
We're talking about that industry.
All right, fine.
Jeez, if you want to talk about construction workers, Ryan Seacrest is nowhere. He drove by construction. He actually pays to drive around construction.
All right, new subject on
Jeez,
this. Sorry. All
shut
right.
up.
Edit that after fucking we talk.
Yeah. So no.
Well, we're already fighting.
Anyways.
I got into the hair bands that Mark hates, but I got into
That's
Def
'cause he doesn't
Leppard,
have any.
Van Halen.
It's-
That's it.
no,
That's it. Kayla's got it.
Oh, wow. That could be why I don't like hair bands. That might be.
What-
Maybe deep down, what do you think, Doctor?
What is it about the hair bands that you don't
You
like?
don't like Def Leppard because they have hair. Oh God,
You don't
you're
like-
right, Doc. You're right. Oh,
You
my
don't
God.
like the whole genre because
No.
they have hair. And
I
you
don't like because it was very extremely shallow music. It was drugs, look at girls, and let's talk about doing women and freaking going. It was so every song was the same.
Isn't that your whole life?
Yeah.
right now,
I
though?
know.
Coming from a person that talks about hookers and blow, and you don't like.
Yeah, but there are special
Hair bands?
occasions now.
Oh my God! There you got it, folks. There you
But
got it.
no, it was not. To me, there was no heart, but they just churned out the same music until you got to late '89, And Metallica talked about all their demons inside them. And I thought that's when rock and roll turned into rock and roll.
I do agree with that because I give a lot more credit to artists that write their own music.
Now, listen, there are some 80s bands that I think Motley Crue was way underrated. Well, you really can't. They're well rated, but their music kind of evolved and rocked and talked about darker things with him overdosing and him, they went into deeper.
Well, and that's why Motley Crue's still touring.
Yeah.
Even though they said they wouldn't.
Well, Vince Neil's 300 pounds now, too. For God's sake.
He couldn't.
Should be on Nutrasys.
Did you see him last time he was here? You couldn't even remember the words.
No,
it was terrible.
That's
what I mean. At some point,
it reminds me of the last time I saw Rush. I was like, why did I come to this? I'm like,
but see, I still think Def Leppard puts on a good show. It's the same show, and I've gotten after 8 or 9 times, kind of like, all right, I don't care.
And it was just the whole let's dress up, let's freaking grow our hair, but let's put on a ton of makeup, and it was just to sell. Well, I'll give it. It was a genre that is hugely, and I'll give them respect for it. And everybody that was on the radio, I give you utmost respect for it. But it is not my cup of tea.
You look like Poison. When Poison first released "Talk Dirty to Me," they were on the front of their album. They looked like girls, and even I looked at the album and like, I don't want to listen to that. Then they re-release it with a new album cover that they don't look as girl, and all of a sudden Poison's one of my favorite bands from the 80s.
So all Glee redid, of course, Journey. What are the other 70s, 80s songs you probably...
They did a lot.
Well, I know. We got to be more specific.
I know, but they did a lot.
Look it up in your phone because I want to talk about it.
Michael Jackson. They did Whitney Houston. They did Van Halen, that one.
So I think the 80s had incredible pop music. It really did. But as for the hair band, I'm not going to do it. But it did. But I think by the time Guns N' Roses and Metallica hit in 88, 89, really about 87, I think, and Justice for All was like 86. But when that started coming out, that was just in your face freaking rock and roll. We ain't talking about chicks or anything. We're talking about overdosing, and we're talking about fucking drug problems and inner problems from our parents. It brought out a lot, man.
Oh, yeah. Guns N' Roses, U2 was one of my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Mark used to love U2.
Oh, I still do. I've seen U2 6 times. They're fantastic. Oh, there you go. My wife doesn't get it either. But.
Point in time that U2 took over Apple and they downloaded their album onto everybody's iPhone and iPod. And
that was kind of Apple's idea too. I mean, Bono's going to go with it because he's a freaking egotistical dude, but he's a very good. He goes out. He gives a lot.
He does a lot
money.
for the world, but
charity,
he lets everyone know about it.
Yeah, well, so does Sean Penn, but I'm not going to fault Sean Penn for doing his thing too. At least you're trying. If you got some money, go freaking do some good with it. So, but yeah, I mean, I got it. Now the worst thing. Now we got to talk about worst things of the 80s.
Well, the Nirvana is the worst thing. I think they were 90s still, but Nirvana ruined music.
Oh my! Are you? We're gonna get people.
I'm sorry.
They're gonna want to kill you, dude. Oh my God!
I think to go down to that grunge rock and everything so depressing and horrible and bad. And you couldn't even understand their first song, yet everyone liked it. I don't.
Wow, you heard it here, folks.
Not a fan.
It's okay if you vote him off this island. It really is. Okay, so we're gonna have a vote, and I'm gonna do it now. And people on Facebook, you 8 of you, majority, do we vote him off the island, man? Because dear Lord, you're gonna lose 8-0. I'm that confident. Oh my gosh,
8-0.
I don't even know if we can continue to talk.
Right,
I don't know if we can continue to be friends if you don't like Nirvana.
Let's try to get people go to our Facebook page at Our Warped World and vote whether Jim should be off the island for not liking Nirvana. No, wait. Let me rephrase that. For thinking Nirvana ruined music. Rock music.
You don't even just dislike Nirvana. You say they ruined music.
They ruined
Okay, so the 8 of you that are going to vote, and I want you to vote. Okay, this is I'm even going to sweeten this pot. If I get 8 people go on to Facebook and freaking vote, 8. The first 8, I'm going to send you a $5 gift card to Starbucks. And I'm not lying. I will.
Wait, is that 8 people that vote for you?
No,
or 8 people that vote?
8 people that vote. 8 because
I'm
you're going
to make 8 different separate accounts.
You're going to get killed. You're not going to have. You might have one person that's agree with you, and that's going to be the depressed dude freaking sitting in the corner or whatever. That's going to be like.
All right. All right. I definitely this hopefully this episode's going to be up by Monday. By Monday night. I want 8 people.
$5 gift cards to Starbucks, or I'll just sell you $5, whatever. I will do it, okay? I'm telling you that I'm in $40 for this for this thing. I'm in $40. You cannot vote. The disclaimer: you cannot be one person voting 8 times. You gotta
Void where prohibited. Batteries not included.
void where prohibited. Only valid on Wednesdays between 3 and 5.
Batteries not included. Do not class so not.
On months that start with an R. Okay, so all right. So there we go. We got the specifics out of the way. So
you're gonna give each person
$5. Again, if you apply Monday through Friday, 8 to 2.
That's my opinion.
I will. I'm going on record or on tape. I will give $5 to 8 people the first 8 people that vote, and I'll just
vote
go on
whether they agree with me or not.
I'm just gonna do it for 8 people that vote.
Okay.
Because you're gonna get killed. It's people.
If I do, I do.
I'm surprised no one's it's knocking at our door right now. I really am.
The dog's pissed at me. I can't even see him anymore.
It's just amazing. So all right. Anyways,
So
okay.
who are we fighting about?
Nirvana.
Who's that?
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I don't like that song.
Thank you. One.
Am I one?
One
But
vote.
do you think they destroyed music? No.
I said ruined rock music. I didn't say destroyed.
All disclaimers to go. If you're working on the show, you cannot vote.
That's too many disclaimers.
So you
Go back to my phone. I heard Starbucks and $5.
If you like the color blue and you've been born in February, you're not getting more disclosures to come from that $5. More disclosures to come.
All right, so we've been with movies, been with music. What about just life in the 80s? I mean, obviously we were young. We were 10, 16.
Yeah, that's why I think
20 years old.
What was the typical thing to do on a Friday night in the 80s?
Oh, hey, I want to touch on this too because I saw last week on Facebook. Great Skate celebrated their 40th anniversary.
They're still open. Exactly. And I'm glad you went there. So we didn't take her as a kid. I don't think I took Nicholas as a kid.
I went to her party one time. I think I got banned because I almost fell and killed 3 kids.
Our Friday nights were... So they had early skate, which I was only allowed half the time. I couldn't go to the late skate unless I lied and said I was staying at your house.
Yeah, we had to leave by 9 or something like that.
Yeah, the late skate was till 11.
Right.
So, and everything. But they took that hour between either 7 or 8 or 8 and 9 off. Remember they shut down for an hour because there was a long line around the building and that they let everybody leave?
I don't remember that, but
yeah,
it's possible.
They would actually do that. You would go in and skate from 6 to 8. You'd have to get out. And then they'd have the 8 to 10 crowd or 9 to 11 crowd sitting out there, and they'd let them all in because they were that. It was the only thing to do, and it was no big deal. You know, remember? So we used to ride our bikes to go bowling. We were on a bowling league. We're the paper boys because we were the paper boys. I know we're dating ourselves, but we used to be able to bowl after everybody, and we would drive down there and make it an afternoon.
All right, Jim's weird trivia. Do you remember what song started every skate session at Great Skate every Friday night?
We're at the snack bar.
What song?
We serve it hot. We serve it cold. We serve it any way you want it. That's the way you need it.
Yes.
I mean, it was the same DJ that started that shit off all the time.
Just witness.
That DJ's name was Tim.
I bet you if you go there tonight, he's still doing that. I bet you
That
that's
was a core memory that was just unlocked between these two.
I'm surprised Mark remembered it.
Absolutely. We went there 100 freaking times,
I know. DJ's name was Tim. He had muscular dystrophy.
Remember the now that I don't know.
What was the Four Guard's name?
The
The Four Guard's name was
I didn't know he had
Skip.
muscular dystrophy. I'm surprised he didn't skip with his little arms.
No, that was the Four Guard's name, Skip. You're wrong. You're so wrong. We're sorry, Kyler Murray.
I'm a
NDA.
muscular DJ. I can't reach the record player.
Stop
God, shut up.
Sorry. Right. They don't allow me to skate.
Edit 30 minutes.
So for anyone who's listening who doesn't know what Great Skate is a roller.
It's a roller rink.
Roller rink that's been around forever.
They have special. Special people.
Let her finish.
No, I'm trying to breathe. Sorry, they have never updated that damn building.
Oh no, they did. They were on the news the other morning, and they the inside is now. Remember, it used to be an orange floor with yellow walls. Now it's white floor with
so they painted
green walls. Yeah, they painted. Yeah. That's really all they upgraded. It's still the same skates.
Well, you really can't do anything on the inside. You don't have an arcade, obviously, probably anymore.
Well, I'm sure they got something along the edge of the walls. Well, but that was our other thing, segueing into the other things we did. We go to the arcade damn near every day.
Oh, yeah. Super fun.
Super fun, yeah.
It was right. I would steal, and my brother already knows this. I remember I would just go into his all my brother saved his whole life were quarters. And so when I needed money, he never knew this. I would sneak into his freaking closet and I'd shake it. I'd be like, I need $20. And I'd shake out this big, huge thing. I mean, it was huge.
Giant wine bottle jug.
And I'm surprised he didn't know that it was going down like 2 inches a day because I'm going in there and I'm taking all kinds of quarters out.
Oh, yeah.
And then he finally admitted to me, I thought it was Morty. I'm like, it was. And I was like,
no, all you needed was $5. $5, you got like an extra
40 tokens. You got 50 tokens, didn't you?
Yeah, something like that.
50 tokens for $5.
40. Hold on, say that again.
40 tokens for $5. It was 40
And how
for
many
$5.
games could you play with that?
Most games were 2 tokens.
No, most games were 1 token. The cool games like Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, these were 2 tokens. But
I don't think Dragon's Lair was a cool game. I'm going on record. But okay.
Those were the
so
advanced
the 8
games.
people that listen,
And
let's
then-
vote on
And then
Dragon
if
Slayer.
you wanted to play skee-ball. Super Fun
didn't have skee-ball.
Super Fun didn't
It
have
was
the skee-ball.
all video games.
But the bigger arcades did, because then Peter Piper Pizza, that's all they were known for.
Yeah,
You would go there
yeah.
and play skee-ball.
And then Tuesdays, 50-cent movies down at
Oh,
Valley
yeah,
West
50
Mall.
cent movies.
We went and saw Raiders of the Lost Ark and Poltergeist.
That's
That's Tuesdays.
Every
That's
Tuesday.
not Friday.
And it was always during the summer, because that's the only time they offered it. But you would that's where you met your girlfriend, man. That's where you went and you met your
didn't
girl.
have one of
yes,
those.
you
No.
held
Oh,
hands.
Mark was a slut in 6th grade. He had more girlfriends
Come
by 8th
on,
grade
man.
than most people have in their life.
I felt boobies in 6th grade, so ha ha. They were like more like stubble because you don't really like
Stubble?
Stubble.
Well, they might have
Bumps?
well been exactly.
Were they Tim's?
I don't. I was tuning Tokyo. I mean, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yes, that was our Tuesday.
But that was our Tuesday.
adventure.
It was
We'd
fun.
ride our bikes about a mile and a half down to Valley West Mall and play video games, see the movie.
Go home by 8, 9 o'clock, whatever, and as long as the sun wasn't down.
Oh no,
we
we were
good
home
to
by
go.
5 usually.
I
3,
don't
4,
know.
5.
Whatever.
We had to get to our street football game.
We did. We always had street football games, and we were too lazy to go to the park, so we played in the street, and we just played Nerf ball, fucking with socks. So, well, I mean, they weren't on our penis; they were being played.
Mark's
as
dad would
flags,
come
so.
home from work every day and just call us pusses for wearing a Nerf, using a Nerf ball.
Thanks, Dad.
Damn pussies, use a real ball. Every day. I love
What a
it, Dad.
joy. But that was our 80s. So give us another question what you want to know what we did as kids, because this is good. And everybody out there is probably agreeing with some sort of what we did. We need a broader. We got to get out of Arizona. We got to talk about just a life in general as being a kids in the 80s.
Well, so Mark, were you born here in Arizona?
No, I came out here when I was 4. I don't count Illinois though. That's not my place. I don't like Illinois. I don't like Chicago. I'm not a big fan of it. So I count my life is here for 48 years.
Okay.
So
And then Dad, you were...
I came out here when we settled out here when I was 10. First came out here when I was 8 or 9. 8, 9. Yeah, 9. And then settled out here 10, 11 years old.
I learned everything about Syracuse, New York that you ever wanted to know about through Jim.
Right?
Jim and his family, dude.
You never had to go through the
Christmas-
drive.
Well, no, not the drive. I did the Christmases a couple times or whatever, but yeah.
No, I'm talking about when I take her back to New York and I drive and I do what
that's
my
what
mom did
dads
to
are
me.
supposed to do. That's
Oh,
what
my
dads
mom
are
did it to
supposed
me. It drove me nuts. My mom lived in New York, in Syracuse, for 30 years before she moved. I lived there for 5. 10. I left the
But
house.
as a kid, see now as a kid you're thinking this is so fucking boring. You couldn't talk it. But now you're like there was some of the greatest times I remember being a kid. I mean, it'd be
Well, that's the
awesome.
thing. Our last trip back there, I finally explained. I'm like, Mom, you lived here till you're 30, so you got 30 years of memories. I left the house, go to kindergarten at 5, and then we moved when I was 10. I've only got about 5 years. It only takes me about 3 days to get everything. My mom was like, I sat under that tree and read a book. I don't give a shit.
How old was your grandma when she passed?
She was 70.
77? I thought she made 80.
I don't know,
So
honestly.
she is 47 years in Arizona. Like, I mean, so your mom, as long as I've been here, is settled in. So she has memories, but I bet you she would have, if your mom was still today, this is her home. I think.
Oh, no. My mom wanted to go back to New York every single day of her
life. She
life.
bitched about it, but she never left.
No, she
could've
would
went
always go
anytime.
back during the summer.
She'd go back, stay there during summers, and threaten to not come back that
Who
year.
the hell wants to live in? Everybody out there, I'll give you $5. Wants to live in freaking Syracuse?
No, if she didn't have
Only if you vote on a
grandchildren.
Tuesday between 2 and 4.
No, if she didn't have grandchildren, she said, if I didn't have grandchildren, I wouldn't be back. All you kids are out doing your own thing now. If I didn't have grandkids, I would not come back here. She said that to me.
Crazy talk.
Me, I want to be a snowbird. I want to go back there, live during summer, work on the lake somewhere, own my own marina. So
We have air conditioning. You don't have to go to another state.
no, I want to work on the lake and enjoy the green. And then
This
the first
is Jim's, again, we talked about this last week. This is Jim's view. I love it. It's just so calm or whatever. I'm like, bring the titties and the beer. Let's have a
Hey,
boat.
you know
Let's
what?
go.
I just found out that probably about 4 or 5 years ago, they do have tits in New York.
4 or 5 years ago.
You just found out?
Oh, Mark's just thinking the only thing there is about a lake is tits. It's a beautiful lake. It's got trees and grass and everything. I want to own a marina, sell worms and coffee till noon.
Quit biting the guy.
No lake in Arizona has tree or grass near it
No.
that I've seen.
All right.
Moving on.
Oh, exactly. Well, anyway, you guys can decide. You vote on that.
I had something that I was going somewhere with that question, but I guess I lost it.
Oh, we were looking so forward to it.
How long he lived here?
Yeah, or if he was born
He was
here.
born here. You lived in Tucson until you were what, 10? 8?
No, we had to move back there, and then my family got moved back over here. What?
I heard myself inhale on that one, so I
Oh,
stepped back.
I thought it was my breath. I'm like,
No.
dear Lord. I'm like,
It's
shit,
coming
sorry,
through the
man. I'm like,
microphone.
No,
all you got to do is tell me to freaking go. Use
No,
another
I heard
one.
this big.
My dead tooth. Don't judge me.
Kale's going to kill me if I exhale.
All right.
All right. Anyways, you were going where with this?
I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. So
Something
anyways,
about being a kid and
other
doing stuff.
good stuff about the 80s. I think we actually, our electronics came a long way. It laid the groundwork for the 90s. It was the basic groundwork of electronics.
What do you have any video game systems in your house right now?
Oh, no, I just have the Oculus. But I had Intellivision. I was one of those ones that had Intellivision.
I'm thinking, you think what you have now versus the Atari 2600, which do you think was really better?
I've never heard of either one of those.
But you know what? I'm sure somebody eventually will be listening to this thing that has all the systems from Pong to Sega to Nintendo. I bet you they have them all freaking set up. It might be some rich guy in his freaking room has them all set up, but I'm sure they're all in working prize.
So Pong was its own thing. It wasn't like a game you put on your system. It was its own.
It was its own.
You bought
system.
it for $29.99, and that was the only
$29.99.
$29.99. That was a big deal if you got it for Christmas too, because you had to hook it up to the AC things in the back. Remember they had the
What
you had to
channels?
unscrew them, and what you had to get it on channel 3.
Yeah, you had to hook up this box to your what's coax
And you had
cable
3 or
now,
4,
and then you
and
had to
then you
move the
pick the
switch to
channel.
3 or 4, then tune your TV to channel 3 and 4, and
To
then
play it.
you could play Pong.
And it was
This is why I don't like the
$29.99.
80s.
Yeah,
Check
$29.
it. I'm writing down stuff that we can put pictures up on Facebook.
The
We'll put up a
Intellivisions
picture
were
of
big. It was
Pong.
$159.
You're still talking over me. Will you stop?
Oh, squirrel.
Squirrel. We'll put up pictures of Pong to see how exciting Pong was for $29.99.
Intellivision was like $159.
What is that?
Intellivision, it was kind of like,
Huh.
Well, because it was like an imitation. I mean, it was like Atari came out, and then Intellivision's graphics were better for like.
Think Minecraft moving.
You do move in Minecraft.
Well,
What do you
no,
mean?
no. You know how the background all just kind of square. Everything is.
They
is
started
square?
talking. I mean, the baseball game when you threw it out would go, "You're out." So that's what it would do. You would play this baseball game, and it would go, "You're out."
But
And
like the little guys didn't have any faces or anything. They were just squares.
right.
You know, there's
And the handles were all cool. Remember, you had a dial pad on the Intellivision.
Yeah, it looked like
so you could save
phone
your
pad.
code.
And then the circular moving thing.
Yeah, so they were the first one, to come out with a circular moving thing.
That was an upgrade from the Atari 2600.
Yeah, I mean, but the 80s created computers, basically. I mean,
Computers were created.
I know, but I mean, into the
home
mainstream.
computer, yes.
Yeah,
the Commodore 64.
Well, I don't even know if by 89, when did Commodore 60, because I graduated, we were still a computer class. I don't think.
Well, the Commodore 64 was out in the 80s, but if you didn't know DOS, you couldn't really do anything on it. You had to know DOS.
Who else were the big players? IBM was a big player back in the 80s.
IBM, Microsoft used to be IBM or acquired IBM.
Well, Microsoft created the system. Remember, they got it because they created the operating system. All these people were creating computer companies, and Gates came in and created the whole system so these can
the operating system Windows.
And then he
so
created
Windows,
a monopoly,
Microsoft.
but that's for a later conversation.
Microsoft absorbed IBM, but that was the big thing. You were either IBM or Apple. Remember the Apple IIes we were in computer class on?
Yeah.
Mr. Myers.
Yeah, it's true.
Roger Dodger.
So for me, that's my big take on the 80s with, I mean, this is real. I mean, you could go on for 4 hours, guys, but this is just a segment for us wanting to talk about
much
that.
Deeper
because
into
you
the
could,
80s.
but this was just a quick 30 minutes on what we.
I think even being, 10 to 20 years old, or 10 to 20 from the 80s and 90s, I still think, knowing what I know now, I still think Ronald Reagan was the greatest president of our generation.
Yeah, you can't talk. Everybody's all over his comment all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to get all political, but as far as the presidents,
I loved Ronald Reagan. Don't get me wrong for what I remember, but he was, that's a politics when we spin the wheel.
Yeah, I don't want to go into politics. I just think.
So we're gonna take 10-minute break. We hope you enjoyed that 80s segment. I thought that was a good segment. You can start turning it off. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in a minute.
All right, and we're back from our break. Boy, we had a big discussion during break time. So, curious, Mark. You started drinking, when would you say, I can tell you right now, I was 16. When did you start drinking?
So my dad used to be a dick, okay? So he would actually freaking make me at like 11, 12, 13 years old, he would throw parties. And I would have to make the drinks, and they weren't just like, go get me a beer. It was, he made me make them a Southern Comfort Old Fashioned. So
really?
Yeah, that's what he made me. So I knew how to make this drink with bitters, and he wanted a teaspoon of sugar in with Southern Comfort and soda water. And my dad was such a dick. He actually sent it back one time. I'm 12 years old, and my dad goes, you take this back. So whenever they would leave those drinks, that was my first taste of Southern Comfort, because my dad would be like, taste this. This is not what it's supposed to taste like. It's a full drink, but my dad they said that one time back, he sent it back. But the other times I would, it tastes like the last one. It tastes like the last one. So I guess 12, 13, 14 years old is the first time
Wow, your dad was teaching you life skills at 12.
Oh, my dad was an asshole. But
I don't know if that's a life skill.
What did this? You're sending a 13-year-old back to make my drink?
I'm impressed you were tending bar at 13. That's cool.
I didn't have a choice. It was slave labor. Dad, do I get tips for that? What the? Shut up. Give them to me. Okay, sorry. House makes 100%.
You puss. Stop playing with that.
Yeah, shut up. Go make another highball.
Okay, so when did you start drinking, not at your dad's evil hand, but when did you decide you were going to start drinking, partying, and everything?
When I moved out.
All right, so 16, right around the same. Okay.
17, I had my own apartment. I would come home from freaking working all freaking day.
All right, so and
there'd be a full house at my place, because I'm like, and I didn't even know half the people, but I wasn't popular in high school. Jim knows this, but you have your own place and word sneaks out.
Oh, yeah. When you had your own place, you were popular.
Nah, I wasn't popular. That's how it was.
So what was your drink of choice? What did you drink when you started drinking?
Southern Comfort.
So you started with Southern Comfort?
I did. That's all I remember. And I gained all this weight because all I would drink was Southern Comfort and Coke, not knowing that's like 7,000 calories a drink.
Wait, weren't you the Southern Comfort and Dr. Pepper?
Oh, yeah. I would mix it with Amaretto and Dr. Pepper. That was my secondary drink.
I remember Southern Comfort, which is basically cough syrup, and Dr. Pepper, which is basically carbonated cough syrup. What a horrible drink that was.
I got to the point where I was drinking 100% Southern Comfort. I was like just fucking sipping it on the rocks. Because you would drink two of them at 100 proof. You're like, Jesus, holy fuck. You're pretty gone. But I don't drink it a lot anymore. It's too bad because actually Southern Comfort and soda water is pretty good. So
okay, you remember in the late 80s, possibly early 90s, but I'm pretty sure it was late 80s, Crystal Comfort.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was the whites. They came out with that white stuff.
Yeah, I love the Crystal Comfort. It was a lot lighter cough syrup tasting stuff, and did mix very well with a lot of stuff.
I think I'm like, why fuck with an original like Coke? Why do you do it? I'm talking the blue, not the drink.
Well, they eventually discontinued Crystal Comfort, but too much to my dismay.
I'd like to get a bottle on it and put it in my freaking bar over there. It's next to the Kirkland vodka. It's great. So
and that Kirkland vodka is really good.
That was a huge bottle.
It is. It's $18. It's really good stuff. I go for the expensive stuff. I don't just I get the French Kirkland vodka. Kirkland.
Yeah.
Kirkland.
I can't even do a French accent.
What
to
are
be
you
offensive.
at, though?
This is not.
I want to know what a millennial drinks now. Who is unlimited? You make pretty good money for a millennial, so.
This is not a paid advertisement for Kirkland vodka.
And if you thought you were getting $5 if you didn't vote between 3 and 4 on a Tuesday between the 26th and the 28th, you lose.
So wait, hold on. We're not getting the $5 Starbucks.
If you vote between 1 and 2 o'clock
Anyway,
on a Monday.
so I never.
I'm on the record. I am giving that $5 to the first 8 people if they actually vote. And I'm not lying. I promise. Whoever I will give $8 to the first 5 people. No, $5 to the first, but you have to vote.
Okay.
And again, this was about the freaking. Jim said that Nirvana destroyed music.
It ruined rock music. Go to our Facebook page in our Warp World.
You listened to this earlier, so 8 votes. That's all I want.
Anyway, back to the original comment, question, whatever the hell it was. I didn't start drinking until I turned 22.
That's not true.
Yes, it whiz. Is.
Whiz.
A whiz. Yes, it whiz. I never had the desire to do it.
Shaniqua.
I just never did. So my first drink was like a watermelon margarita at Dave & Buster's when I turned 22, and it was disgusting.
Oh, I don't know. Those are pretty good.
No.
I thought they were pretty good.
So, and even then,
I don't think sweet watermelon with tequila. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think.
So
it
you
tastes
were really 22.
yeah.
Wow.
Because it was like, I think I tried to go drinking, but you had to have the certain license, and I didn't, so they declined me. Because in Arizona, you have to, after 6 months, you have to change the landscape or whatever. So I didn't. So I would say what I drink now, I mean, I'll try something at least once just because I'm not like...
That's what my wife said.
Because I'm not an active like drinker. I don't drink all the time. So I'll try everything once, but I mainly will just go like vodka cranberry because it's easy.
Okay.
So...
Jim didn't... Oh, sorry.
Probably.
Didn't your family, growing up when you were in Syracuse, didn't they have basement parties? I mean...
No, we partied most of camp, but it was all beer. I remember being 8, 9 years old, going to get my dad a beer and taking a sip or whatever. I started drinking. When I started drinking, it was all beer. It was MGD, Miller Genuine Draft. May it rest in peace. And Budweiser and stuff like that. And,
well, you had money because mine was Mickey's Big
well,
Mouth.
no, don't get me wrong.
Schlitz.
We had plenty of hams.
Red Stripe. I mean, they were
Hams, Olympia. That was what most of our part. $5 for a 12-pack of Olympia or hams or something like that.
I was partying with a friend of mine, which eventually be on this show, Shannon. You know Shannon, so she's one of my best friends. And we were in this pool one day. We're freaking drinking, and we brought up Mad Dog. And she actually got out of the pool, knew of a freaking liquor store in Chandler, drove to Chandler, got just bottles of Mad Dog for like $2.99, and we just drank them and passed them around in the pool. The different flavors, there was like grape and strawberry, and it, oh my God, it was like, now you say cough syrup, Mad Dog was freaking cough syrup.
So you're talking about MD 2020, correct?
Mad Dog, yeah. I don't know if it was called 2020 back then.
Yeah,
I think.
the label says MD 2020. Did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know? No, because this just came up on Facebook this week. MD did not stand for Mad Dog. It was some guy's name. I'm trying to look it up now, but it was actually some guy's name. Michael David or something like that.
I thought it was Mad Dog.
No, I was pretty upset too. But anyway, moving on. It was
Mad Dog.
So have you had an alcohol that you tried it and it was like instant, like,
Galliano.
What even is that?
It's oh my God. Everyone who's listening who's my age knows what Galliano is. It came in a very fancy bottle and it was yellow. And it was basically the grossest licorice tasting thing ever. That's the first thing I ever got sick on was Galliano because that's all my dad drank for some reason along with Southern Comfort. And, Galliano.
Galliano, yeah. Harvey Wallbanger's top of Galliano. And that's because the tall, skinny bottle, when you took it off the top shelf and you had to clear all the alcohol, would bang the wall. So that's why they came up with the name Harvey Wallbanger.
It was a long, remember the bottle?
Yeah, it was a
long,
long, skinny, almost pyramided cylinder.
Bottle,
okay, got the information here. The MD on MD 2020 is not Mad Dog. It's actually Morgan David. Morgan David 2020.
I went to school with Morgan David. Yeah. That's great.
Just a little bit of bar trivia for all of you.
That's great. Hey, yeah, you guys got to use that. Go to the bar and say, did you know, while they're throwing shit at you because you're being a smart ass?
I'm the fucking Cliff Clavin of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Normie, little did you know.
I really like when you fact check fucking everything. Thanks, man. Put your fucking phone away, okay? What are you going to do? Ask Alexa next?
So, Dad, do you have one? Do you have an alcohol that you've tried that you instantly, like,
Oh, instantly hated. Ooh. I've never tried Galliano, but I assume I would hate that.
My wife said blowjobs.
She was not talking about the drink, Mark.
It's an alcohol. You get it?
She was not talking.
Come on, everybody out there. That's fun. Vote 8-0. I'll give you $5.
You know, I've had some whiskeys that probably I wasn't drinking them properly, so I did not like them, but you very rarely will you see me get, any sort of whiskey.
Have you ever seen Drunk Dad? Your dad drunk is. It's fun. He loosens up.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have.
Yeah.
Drunk Carla.
No,
Drunk Carla's a blast,
I embarrassed my family one time when I was drunk and did karaoke to.
I wasn't there.
I think me and Carla once got drunk on the phone together. We were sitting there and she was drinking at the same time. We're on the phone, and by an hour and a half later, we're fucked up and stoned talking to each other.
Love Shack. When I did Love Shack, karaoke Love Shack when I was drunk, I think I embarrassed my family to the point where I will not get drunk in front of them again.
That's what you're supposed to. My kid, he's the party. We keep on going back to this holiday party, but that's what my kid realized. Oh my God, my dad. Wow.
It's a lot of obnoxious when he's drunk.
Yeah, well, he always knew that.
Mark's drunk right now.
But yeah, I mean, but the good alcohol is now, so it's age. So now what is considered, and I want you to be honest, what you consider good alcohol is that you can afford that you drink on a regular basis.
See, I don't know. I don't drink that much. I only drink when I go to Country Thunder.
Do you have a bottle of something anywhere?
Yeah, I have a lot of bottles because I buy a lot of stuff to take to Country Thunder, and then it doesn't get drank.
She's got a whole fucking bar in her garage.
You never bring a bottle over here.
I think I will.
I meant to ask them to bring vodka.
They always thought they would.
I feel bad drinking your vodka, but at least I got the fancy vodka.
But
That's all we had was Smirnoff.
Does alcohol go bad? Kirkley. Does alcohol go bad? So if I have open bottles, can I bring them to
You're not doing it right then. I mean,
Mark would never know.
What kind of what are you talking about?
We're all going red here. No, Mark would never know if alcohol goes bad.
I have taken the same bottle, the same bottle of vodka to Country Thunder for 4 years now.
You're doing something wrong. I don't want to. I mean, I guess.
But when you go
alcohol is no fun, folks. Don't do it.
No, when you go out there, you can get drinks from anybody. I cannot take an ounce of liquor and still get drunk all weekend because I'm famous, but I'm the talent.
You heard it here first, everybody.
No, I was when I switched from beer to alcohol, I was a big rum and Coke. Pretty much Bacardi and Coke was my drink of choice, and
that's what I remember when we were drinking. I remember rum and Coke.
Yeah, it was always rum and Cokes, and then I still like a rum Coke. I'm trying this vodka stuff now, the vodka cranberry, because I don't drink a lot of pop soda. Again, tell us what you would call it. I don't drink a lot of carbonated beverages anymore.
I get drunk and stoned, Jim.
Well,
and then I try to create new drinks like vodka Gatorade, and I'm like thinking. My idea is let's drink the vodka, and the Gatorade's gonna keep me going.
That's what I do at Country Thunder.
It's great. It's refreshing. It's good.
My drink tonight is a Orange Burst Monster with vodka. It's kind of a screwdriver that gives me energy. I don't know.
No, when I'm at Country Thunder, I'll do the blue Gatorade and I'll do blue raspberry vodka, and that's all I'll drink all weekend because I'm like, the Gatorade's keeping me hydrated.
And if it's one of the vodkas, that's what I'm thinking. And if it's one of the rare weekends when your wife is gone and you're already too drunk or stoned to go, and all you have left on your fucking thing is like Bailey's and fucking chocolate milk or something, whatever, you're gonna mix the crap. You're like, oh, this is great, and then you throw up the next morning. But I mean, you know what you gotta do. But
tequila is something I stay away from.
Oh, I got tequila.
I lose my pants every time I drink it.
For all you guys out there that like it,
to do a tequila shot, everyone's doing a shot. Okay, party.
You want to do body shots. That's the way to do tequila shots. I don't care if it's cheap ass. You do tequila shots.
If someone buys it for me and says, hey, Jim, do a shot of tequila, sure. But I'm not going to go spend the money on tequila because I just don't like it. Patron. My friend makes we used to have them in Parker when we go camping in Parker, and called it a Parkerita. Very nice margarita with Patron. I'll drink those all day long.
That's secret code for cocaine.
I've tried to do margaritas.
Go to Jose and order a Parkerita and have $70 left.
I can't do the margaritas. I can't do the tequila.
There's nothing wrong with not drinking. There's nothing wrong with not doing any of that. That's okay. I respect you for it. I don't get you, but I respect you. It's good. I mean, it's good.
I just want to live up to your standard at some point.
God, it's low. No, I mean, mine.
I surpassed it a long time ago.
Mark usually lowers the bar in things. Doesn't really raise the bar.
Don't expect anything.
Closes it
Dear
down.
Lord. So when people surprise you, it makes life a ton of surprising. If you go into a date and think, oh, this chick's a fucking crack whore, and she's not, all right, you're happy. You start off on a positive note right there. But expect that this girl's homeless and fucking has 4 kids and needs somewhere to go. And then you buy her dinner and she's nice and everything's good. You can go nowhere but up, so expect the lowest. And whatever your low bar is, lower it again. Because when you do that, you're surprised all the time. It's awesome.
Then you've gotten to Mark's threshold.
Yeah.
Now.
So I mean, you're still a Jesus. You're still 70 level. You got a long way to go down.
Now, Mark, do you ever drink beer anymore?
No.
No, don't touch it.
I do with the craft because all my buddies that you'll meet they like craft beer.
Sure.
So PJ likes craft beer. Aaron's a huge freaking craft beer guy. So we'll go to craft beer places and stuff, and I'll try them. But if
That's the thing. I can drink beer like I would drink soda.
my wife likes beer, IPAs and all that stuff. So.
Beer does nothing for me as far as alcohol content and feeling drunk. I know I'm probably am impaired, but I don't feel it at all.
Yeah, every alcoholic. Let's talk about that, Jim.
No, beer doesn't do it. Hard liquor does
Doc,
it.
beer does nothing. I can have 19 of them before I drive
Beer does
home.
nothing. Wine coolers does nothing. Wine gives me a massive. No, but when I'm talking
Dear
like
Lord.
what was
Leave him out of this too.
White Claws and stuff like that, I consider a wine cooler. It's just a new term for white coolers. White Claw's a new Zima.
White coolers?
White Claw
Oh.
is the new Zima.
Fruit static.
Yeah,
Oh,
fruit
Zima.
static.
Dear
Thank you.
Lord.
Zima's good.
That was malt liquor for white people, is what Zima was.
Okay, I like that. That's my guilty pleasure with Zima. I love Zima.
Oh, my. So now we have a guilty pleasure finally. Okay.
You can't find it anywhere anymore.
Is there a drink that is your guilty pleasure? His is whatever.
Yeah, like a Cosmopolitan or some fruity, fluffy drink that you don't want people to know you drink.
Fluffer.
I do. So me and Holly went on our where the heck were we? San Diego. We took a trip to San Diego and we ended up on this patio and it was freaking gorgeous. And I ordered this freaking foo-foo drink. It was in a freaking whatever glass and I loved it. It was freaking blue and freaking Curacao and or Curacao, whatever the hell it is.
Curacao.
Yeah, so it had all this free stuff in it. But what her biggest crack up was because the waiter came over and freaking handed me the beer, and she was, no, that's fine. And she put this freaking fruity thing in front of me. But I like anything. It's like I got Sky guilty pleasure. If you're gonna put something in a fancy glass and it tastes fruity,
was that like a Blue Hawaiian or something?
Yeah, and if it has an umbrella, I'm in.
Yeah,
Fuck, that's great. It's even better if it's slushy.
So, because honestly, I'll drink a fruity drink all day long just because it goes down easier. But if I'm at the bar or something, I just drink beer because it's easier.
Said. See, I'm gonna have these.
Go to our work world on Facebook and answer some questions. Vote, get a $5 gift card from Mark. Jesus, he's giving money away. Why not?
Unless your mother gave birth on a Tuesday.
Everybody closes at midnight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
If you like the color red, blue, yellow, purple, mauve, you are discontinued.
Mauve? All right.
And then there's one person going, damn it!
Mauve is my favorite color.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night, Phoenix!